If they're safe, walk in front of them, you can shoot them.
I'll record our sessions together. So welcome to class. This is going to be our real deal. Each Monday we'll meet at this same time. With that being said, next week we don't have regular school, so I'm following the directive of Miss Erin, and she has said if we don't have school, then I don't want you to have class. So we'll resume on the 20th. And don't worry, you don't have to remember all of this because I already made notes of the things that I want to touch on, and they're actually in Google Classroom. So I've got the next kind of 2 weeks planned out for you. But I just wanted to start by saying I'm really glad that you are all here, and if everyone's okay with it, I'll just add I'll add journal questions to our classroom. And many of you've been sending me your journals, so you should have completed, I believe, 13 on your own, and then and that will take us up to 21, I think, today.
Yeah, it's 21.
Yeah. So those just take a picture of and share, and then starting tomorrow you'll see a journal online each day. I'm going to ask that when I'm talking that you mute, because it sounds like we're getting some feedback, and I don't know why that is, but it could be the cool wind chimes I've got going. But my agenda for today is to kind of look back at the biggest things that were covered in the text and re-emphasized in Edith Hamilton's Mythology, and then those things were re-emphasized in Percy Jackson. So you've kind of got a heavy version and then you've got a light version. Sometimes what I like about Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief is he actually puts it so that we can understand. He's not Ovid, and he's not talking about terms like Titanomachy, which just means when the Titans reigned. But instead, he makes it real by having this character, Percy Jackson, go on a quest. First, go to this Camp Half-Blood, where he meets other half-blood children that have the attributes of their parents. So one of my favorite characters to hate was Clarice, and I just, oh man, she reminds me of, I went to Brownie Camp when I was probably like 8, 9, and there was a Clarice at that camp. All she wanted to do was fight, and I remember getting in a fight over, because I was quite a tomboy. I had my wrestler jeans on, and I probably, yeah. But I got punched, and then I obviously hit back, and then we both had to stay like away from the campfire, the like fun night. We had to go to our cabin. And I have never gone on a trip like that again. I don't know if you've ever had experiences like that at camp, but it was pretty heinous. Not something that I would want to relive again. So, yeah. So I guess that's why I paired up the two, one that's a little more difficult to understand and one that's really an easy read. So I hope you enjoyed Percy Jackson, and I think it'll just help you with your final. Your final is going to be obviously open book, open notes, but I would encourage you to take notes on the gods, goddesses that are presented in class. So that being said, I had each of you complete a bomb diggity project. So I'm going to quit talking and I'm going to let you describe which god, goddess, or monster you thought was the bomb diggity and why. So if you have a poster, if you have like a slideshow, I don't know how you guys went about doing it, but I will ask that you share those now. Do I have anyone that wants to go first? No one that wants to go first. Imagine that. Well, Logan, I'm gonna make you go first. You want to go grab yours?
Okay, I'll go grab it.
Okay. Can't get away with anything. I'll have a mom for a teacher. It was cool learning the different gods or choices, because I know a few of yours who you chose, but I'll put it on Logan.
Okay, so you can't really see it very well, but I had to do this because I live with the teacher, and I ended up doing it on Hephaestus, the god of fire and of forging and making stuff. And then so this is Talos, his first invention as a robot. And then there's Hephaestus in his forge. And yeah, I think he's pretty cool because all he does is invent all day, and he can't catch on fire, you know. That's about it.
Thank you, Logan. All right, Cheyenne, would you like to go? So, are you scared or are you not done yet?
I haven't finished I did like the slideshow, and I have like 2 more slides to do on it.
So I'll show you later how you can share those so that everyone can see. Even if you have a slide done, if you want to just tell us, or even if you don't, I'd rather have you just share who you thought was the bomb. Can you do that?
Like, do you want me to just say like the name of it, or?
Yeah, and why? I'll mute.
So, Hestia, I think that's how you pronounce it. Because she was like the oldest, from like all of like the Olympian ones. I don't know. I kind of just like went along with. I just found one, but yeah, I don't know. I just like found one of them and just started researching it, and I just thought it was cool off of that.
Maddie, what about you? Who is the bomb for you?
I actually did Nyx, the primordial goddess and deity of night. I thought she was pretty cool. She's not really in a lot of stories and stuff like that. She affects a lot of things that have happened, and most of her descendants are like evil spirits that affect a lot of stories. Like her son, oh god, what was his name? I don't even remember. One moment. Her son, Hypnos. Couldn't think of that. Hypnos is part of the reason why the Greeks won the Trojan War, and why Hercules survived the Trojan War, and yeah. So they affected a lot
Thank
of
you.
Greek history.
Cool. Dylan.
I chose Poseidon. I think he's pretty cool because he can control the sea and make earthquakes and storms, and he apparently he's a ruler of horses. Did not know that. And yeah, that's about it.
Cool. Thank you. Austin?
Okay, so I had Prometheus, and anyone who doesn't think he's the best is wrong. Just automatically wrong. He created humanity, which already a plus in my book. Second, he wasn't a jerk. He decided to steal fire from Zeus in order to give it to humans and make sure humans became the dominant species. Also, he was the whole against doing anything bad to humans and stuff like that. So another plus. And finally, he essentially tricked the gods with some kind of sacrifice. Essentially, the gods wanted humanity to sacrifice animals to worship them. So Prometheus decided to have humanity kill a bull and then split it into two pieces. In one half, they would have the good parts of the meat wrapped in leather with the entrails on top of it. On the other half, they would have the bones covered in a layer of glistening fat. Then had Zeus choose which one he would want humanity to sacrifice to him. Zeus decided to choose the bones and fat. And then that means that the humans now burn bones and fat to give to the gods, and they keep everything else. They keep the good parts to eat for themselves. So that's a plus.
That is a plus.
The downside was Zeus was a jerk, so he decided to punish humanity and Prometheus. Prometheus chained to a rock, has an eagle tear out its liver every day for all of eternity, blah, blah, blah. And Pandora and stuff like that.
Right. And those were a couple of the things that I was going to talk about today, those big stories. You know, Pandora, what a jerk. They give her the most curiosity, and then Zeus gives her a box and says, don't open it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Jerk. Yeah, kind of. But as a result, I think life has become interesting. Right? Because we do have all these evil things that have been released into the world. Kaylee, where's Miss Kaylee?
I don't see it on the thing.
I don't know what happened. If I scroll down, do we see her this way?
Nope.
Might have lost her.
Yeah. They have bad
That's right.
reception down in where they live, kind of.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I just know that from, like, what's it called? Kinship.
oh,
Went
sure.
by there and she had to pick up something.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe she'd come back on. Otherwise, these will be recorded, so you can go back and watch them. So one of the things that I'm going to have you do for next week is I've got a list, and I'll just quick share the screen. So they do have your I do have myth class. Whoop. Probably hidden right under my bar. Here we go. So if you look in your classroom, I'll just show you a few things. I did write down like big ideas. Who are the Titans? So they talk about the different Titans and then the monsters kind of that got thrown into no, I mean the monsters that came from the Titans that were locked away and then came to help Zeus overthrow his father Cronus, which this short video describes that. So I'm going to play this for you, but this is kind of our agenda. But each one of you, I want you to choose an Olympian that you are going to learn more about and describe. So attached to this is, and attached to your email, I did the same thing, is your, oh, maybe it's too much power I'm using right now. But this meets all your technology standards, which is one thing that I'm supposed to do for the district in creating projects. So there's a PowerPoint, and I guess for me, I don't care if you do it on the same Olympian god that you chose for the bomb diggity. We definitely can do that, but I'm gonna whoever you don't share, I will share about them. So maybe not in the same format, but I want to meet your technology slides. So I'm going to stop sharing for a second. So is there anyone that really wants to claim a certain Olympian god? Because I'll jot you down right now. And if you're not here, I'll just give you one. You know what I mean? Like those that aren't in class today. So you guys get to pick of the Olympian gods, and those are listed in classroom if you've got. So is there anyone that would like to claim a god or goddess of the 12 Olympians to look further at?
I'll claim Demeter.
Okay. Maddie, you got Demeter. Anyone else want to lay claim? Otherwise, I will assign. And it's fine if you, like Cheyenne, if you wanted to claim Hestia too, or Dylan, Poseidon, because you already have done a lot of research.
Yeah, I'll do Poseidon.
Okay. And it looks like we've got Emma joining us. Hi, Emma. You just have to unmute. Looks like you're muted.
Oh, okay.
So Emma, I did record, so whatever you missed earlier, we will you'll be able to like go back and watch it. I'll put it up in classroom, our recordings. We're just talking about, each one of us is going to choose an ancient Greek god or goddess and meet our state requirements for technology by doing a like Google slide presentation. So far, Poseidon has been claimed, Demeter has been claimed, and Cheyenne, are you wanting to do Hestia too?
Yeah.
Okay. So those are the three that have been claimed. We still have Zeus, Hades, obviously, we've got Athena, Aphrodite. Logan, who do you want?
Hephaestus. Because I did my bomb diggity on
Roman,
it, so might
yep.
as well
Do this too.
stay.
I think I'll do Hades.
Okay.
So I just do a Google slide on that.
Yeah, and the requirements I sent you in the email. I also shared them on Classroom. So there's a rubric, and it kind of goes through how to manipulate a slide presentation. Okay, I wrote you down for Hades. Austin, you have a choice?
I have no preference. My only thing I don't want to do is Zeus.
You don't want to do
I do
Zeus
not want to do Zeus. He's a jerk.
because he's a
He
jerk.
sucks. Yeah.
Well, how about Apollo or
Sure.
yeah? Okay, I'll put you down
Sure.
for Apollo. And then the rest of them, I will assign, or if they end up popping in. I think I have everyone that is here listed. So, all right. So like I said, I'm gonna play for you a short video that goes through like the basics that you, what do I want to say, that you read about with the Titans and the Olympians. And I will quick share my screen again. Well, that's not what I want to show you. And new share. Nope. Let me try this again. Here we go. And I'll try and put an agenda up of like what are like big ideas, but I'll play that video for you.
If it plays. Might be slow.
It should.
This video on Greek mythology is brought to you by Captivating History. In the very beginning, Chaos ruled the universe. It was the great nothingness. Boring? Of course. Perhaps the sheer blandness of all that empty nothingness forced Gaia, goddess of Earth, to spring into existence. Mother Earth Gaia was so full of fertility that she gave birth to two other primordial gods without having to mate with anyone. Gaia's two sons were named Uranus, god of heaven, and Pontus, god of the ocean. Together with Uranus, Gaia gave birth to several monsters and titans. Uranus felt a great deal of disgust for the children his wife gave him, so he ended up locking away the Hecatoncheires and Cyclops in his uncle, Tartarus, who was the underworld, far below the surface of Gaia. Another child of Gaia and Uranus was Cronus, who was the youngest of the first-generation titans. The faith of his imprisoned brothers made Cronus more aware of his own vulnerabilities. Maybe that gave him sufficient ambition to overcome any fear, more specifically, the fear of his father, Uranus. Cronus ended up wounding his father, and the blood gave birth to the Erinyes, Giants, and Malea. With Uranus being wounded, the Hecatoncheires and Cyclops were freed from Tartarus. Gaia was relieved that her youngest sons were finally liberated. Cronus, feeling the ambitious pride swell within him, took advantage of the situation and claimed the universe as his own. He now became the new king of the gods. But Cronus and Gaia had different reasons for wanting to hurt Uranus. Cronus despised the Cyclops and Hecatoncheires as much as his father and brother Uranus did. At the first opportunity, Cronus put his 6 younger brothers back in the underworld of Tartarus, greatly angering his mother at the betrayal. Despite his arrogance and cruelty, in some respects, Cronus's rule was viewed as a golden age. During his time as king of the gods, the Malaya gave birth to the first humans. These men lived for thousands of years, but maintained a youthful appearance. This was a time of tranquility and nobility of spirit, and the young, fragile race of humans mingled with the gods. Cronus also married his older sister, Rhea, and together they had Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, Poseidon, and then Zeus. With his sign, Cronus became associated with the harvest and its celebration. His rule was filled with abundance. But when anyone does a crime, it's only natural for them to suspect that others may readily do the same crime against them. Cronus had betrayed his father and taken the crown from him. Why wouldn't any one of his children do the same to him? So Cronus ended up hating his own children more than Uranus had hated his. One day, before any of the children were born, both his mother Gaia and father Uranus asked to speak with their king, and warned him that he would also be overthrown as king by his own children. So, as each child was born, Cronus figured that eating them would solve the problem. This must have concerned the other gods horribly, but especially the children's mother, Rhea. After 5 children had been swallowed whole, Rhea vowed to never let it happen again. With the birth of her next child, Rhea cleverly offered up a swaddling cloth with the boulder wrapped inside, instead of her last son, Zeus. Cronus swallowed the cloth and rock and was satisfied that another threat had been removed. Rhea did not want her only remaining son to be discovered, so she took him to Crete. There, she found a cave wherein Zeus could be raised. Growing up in secrecy, Zeus learned to hate his father. And why not? Cronus wanted Zeus dead and loved power more than his own children. Years later, when Zeus had become an adult, he chose the Titaness, Metis, as his wife. It had been said that Metis was the wisest being who had ever lived, and Zeus admired her for it. Metis told her husband about a potion that could force Cronus to vomit up the divine children he had swallowed, Zeus's siblings. Zeus figured that, with their help, he may be able to do something against his murderous father. Because it had been years since Zeus's birth, and years since Rhea had borne any children, Cronus was no longer concerned about the predicted threat to his reign. Even so, young Zeus decided to camouflage himself as a cupbearer. Such a job would give him the perfect opportunity to slip the emetic drug into Cronus's wine. Cronus, of course, liked the idea that others were eager to serve him, so he accepted Zeus as a cupbearer. And on that first day of Zeus's new duty, the young god slipped the drug into the drink, and the king of gods had his fill of wine, laced with a potion that would lead to his undoing. Suddenly, Cronus reached forward, clutching his belly. The vomiting had started. First, out came a huge stone wrapped in swaddling cloth. Next, it was a full-grown god, Zeus's slightly older brother Poseidon. Then came Hades, Hera, Demeter, and finally Hestia, in the reverse sequence in which they had been swallowed. As Cronus lay on the ground, moaning in his drunken, drugged stupor, Zeus and Metis escorted away each of the other gods as they came forth. Zeus and Metis certainly had something to celebrate, but this was not enough. Most of the other titans would likely come to Cronus's aid. After all, he was their king. Then, Zeus remembered that his grandmother, Gaia, still wept because some of her own children had been locked up in Tartarus since their birth, first by Uranus and then by Cronus. 3 Hecatoncheires and 3 Cyclops would greatly improve his chances of beating his father. While Cronus was still befuddled by the drink he had been given, Zeus hurried down to the underworld of Tartarus. There, he killed the fierce dragon which guarded the entrance. Then, he threw open the door and bid his uncles to emerge. "Come forth, my uncles. You are now free." Together, they found a safe place to live on Mount Olympus while they plotted against Cronus. The Cyclops were so thankful for having been set free, they fashioned gifts for the gods who helped them. For Zeus, they created a lightning bolt that the young god could throw at his enemies. For Hades, they created a helmet of invisibility, which allowed the god to come and go unseen. For Poseidon, they fashioned a massive trident. Each of these weapons would be put to good use in the 10-year war between the Titans and the Olympian gods. Imagine battles of Zeus with his lightning bolts zapping every Titan in sight. Imagine Hades sneaking into the Titan camp at Mount Othras and stealing all their supplies without anyone knowing, or setting fire to their tents. Imagine Poseidon poking all waterborne Titans with his massive trident. And picture the three Hecatoncheires hurtling small mountains at the Titans like rapid-fire machine guns. Ultimately, the Olympians won the war. Because Atlas had led the Titans in battle, he was given the special punishment of being forced to hold up the heavens on his shoulders. Quite often, in modern literature, Atlas is pictured holding up the earth, but this is a misconception. All of the other Titans who participated in the war were locked up in Tartarus. As a reward for their indispensable help in winning the war, Zeus let the Hecatoncheires, Briareos, Kodos, and Gyges, guard the gates to Tartarus to ensure the Titans stayed locked up. Amongst the Olympian gods, Zeus divided up the universe based on each god's individual attributes. For himself, he took the sky. This should seem obvious, because lightning always occurs there. Hades was given the underworld to rule. This included not only the incarcerated Titans, but all dead humans who made their way to Tartarus across the river Styx. Poseidon was given reign over the oceans and seas. If you want to know more about the Olympian rule that followed the war, check out our book on Greek mythology. It is available as an ebook, paperback.
So, I love videos because they just sink in addition to text. I think that that's a great way to learn. So with that being said, I did assign you your reading in your textbook. It is from page, I want to say 95 through like 154. Again, you've got 2 weeks because we're not going to meet again until the 20th. But I also included on your sheet videos that coincide with the story. So as far as I'm concerned, we're learning about stories. Either way is fine with me. I think the video just re-emphasizes the text. So what you will find in Classroom is a Google document that it coincides exactly with your book in order of the stories and how they are told. So I think it starts with Prometheus, which is, we already from Austin learned what he did and kind of how he really, because he loved humans, he helped them out and he defied the gods. And as a result, he kind of knew what he was getting into. He knew that he would be punished, but he didn't care. He did what was right no matter what. And as a result, he suffered for it. And there's a lot of artwork that surrounds Prometheus. Some of them totally get it wrong though. So if you have a chance, look at some artwork that has been done that shows that story, because for some, they have a more like, the bird is more up towards the heart in some paintings that, at least that I've witnessed. The anatomy isn't quite there, and instead of the bird eating the liver, they're attacking some other part. So but he knew well that he was going to be punished for what he did, but he didn't care. So I think that that's just altogether a really pretty cool show of love, admiration, whatever you want to say. So there is, if you wanted to share something with the group, you can, and I think you all have that it's the share screen. So when I have you share your Google slide presentation, you'll use the share screen at the bottom. So I figured I could do a little bit of teaching technology, in that I'd like you to find something on your computer at this time, either something funny or maybe something related to what we're studying, and I want you to share it with the group. So go ahead and do that right now. Take a minute, and Logan, you can use my computer. So if you want to just find something that you're going to share with the group so we can all learn how to do that. And you can so on my screen,
I'm here. I have to go.
so I would go right.
Back and audiobook. Please note.
Yeah. So for that, you can escape, and then just you can find something up here. You can share. Maybe an image.
This one.
Oh,
It's spelling out. Why won't it do anything?
there we go. Let's just go into the.
I see that. All you got to do is copy.
No, you don't have to even do that. Okay. So I'm going to have you, just for your own education, show us something. Okay. Who wants to start? Who's found something? Oh. Ooh, that looks really good. Are you making some meatloaf? Thank you.
No, it was just the first thing that came to my mind.
Oh, okay. What is that? That's a dog.
Yeah.
Smiling. Looks like.
Who sent that one?
Is that Emma?
Yeah, that's my dog.
Yeah, cute. I had that dog in my classroom.
Yeah.
Yep. He's a sweetheart.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, thank you.
Did you bring him in?
Look, do you want to show your image?
Oh, how do you do that?
So
Exactly.
you go to the bottom, share screen. And then you're going to choose that. Yep. Thank you, Logan. And then you hit stop share.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Maddie, did you share yours yet?
No, I haven't. I'm just trying to think of something to share.
Okay. Austin, you got something to show? Oh, look at your friend is there. I just want to make sure if we're going to communicate on this platform that you kind of know its features or what you can do. So if you can each find something, it doesn't have to be like anything out of the ordinary. I just want you guys to know that that's an option.
Mhm.
So we just need Maddie and Austin to share something.
It can be anything.
Awesome.
Hmm.
Well, play a little bit. Let's see if it plays from yours. Is the volume on? See if we can hear it.
And once there is love, form begins, and Gaia, Earth, comes to be. But Earth
Oh, yeah.
Can everyone hear this?
Yeah,
we can hear
thank
it.
you.
Okay.
That's good to know that you can play something from your site as well.
Good.
All right, Maddie, go ahead. Show us something.
It says I have to wait until other participants are done sharing.
Oh, just Austin, if you'd hit stop share. There you go.
Mhm.
This is what I was working on before I joined this class. I'm going through all my senior
Photos?
night basketball photos, trying to find highlights of action shots of all the seniors.
Oh, cool. Thank you. Okay, so there's one feature. There's also a little box next to that share screen that you should see that's called chat. So if you end up having questions, you can put them in the chat like, hi everyone, can you
See
uh,
this.
can you help me? Like, right? So that's another feature. I should, just because I have you here and we can play around, I'm going to have you go into breakout rooms, which are smaller rooms where you can just chat with fewer people. And if we have our whole crew, that sounds like a good idea to do something like that. So I'm gonna quick put you in breakout rooms.
What does a breakout room do? You gotta click go there, and then no, you gotta just add names.
It won't. It doesn't just put them up. I don't know why it didn't. Huh. I'm struggling today. I don't know why it's not letting me like put you in rooms. What rooms? Options. Um, um, okay, let me start over and see if it. This one?
Yep.
Delete. Hmm.
How did you add up here?
I don't know. It just automatically let me see all the people. Ah,
Click on the number.
okay.
Add a room.
Here, I got it. Logan figured it out.
Mhm.
Okay. So we're going to open all the rooms. And I'm going to give you a message. So you're in a couple different breakout rooms.
In all this group.
Okay. So now they're all like gone.
What do you mean they're all gone?
Well,
Now they have to figure out how to break out.
no, they'll come back.
How?
So we're just joining you in this breakout room. It should be just the two of you, right? In here.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are some struggles that you've had?
Broken PlayStation 3 days into the quarantine.
Oh gosh. That's tough, huh? Oh, that makes me laugh. Funny. What about you, Diana?
I don't know. I just like not being able to do stuff because like I always have to be doing something
Yeah,
and it's really hard not to.
sure.
So I've just been finding random hobbies to do.
Well, good. I mean, sometimes that's like the best thing, right?
Yeah.
You finding something new that you're good at. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I'm going to leave you all and go check on the other ones, and then we'll all come back together.
Okay.
So Maddie, I popped in to your discussion room with Dylan and Emma. And you probably didn't hear me because I realized I was muted. Yeah, that's probably it. So breakout rooms is when we want to have like a smaller discussion on something. So that's another feature of this type of learning. We only have a few minutes left, so I just wanted to go over kind of expectations for the next week. Actually, till the 20th. So you've got more reading in Edith Hamilton. Okay. Each of the videos coincides with a section of the text. So I put together a Google document. If you want to just go ahead and make a copy of that document, I'd like you to make notes on the, so if your paper, you've got left to right, on the right hand side, there's a column for you to take notes on the stories. It doesn't matter to me which way, if you wanted to read and then watch the videos, if you wanted to watch the videos and then go to the text to clarify, but it's really just getting the big stories down, okay? You're gonna find that some of your favorite authors are not original. One of the first stories in the lovers section, stories of lovers, is Pyramus and Thisbe, which is so much like Romeo and Juliet. You'll go, oh, Shakespeare. You just borrowed that. Not to say that Shakespeare isn't the like best undisputed writer of all time, but just saying he borrowed a lot of stuff. So there's that part. And then the second part is simply using your god or goddess that you've chosen, the Olympian god or goddess, and applying our tech standards in putting together a Google presentation. So those are the two expectations that I have for you. I'll just quick share so you know what I'm talking about. I'll share those documents, and then if there's anything further, you can let me know. If some of you want to stick around and show me homework that you have completed, that is also advisable. Or maybe just if you don't know a way to share, or you're struggling at all with anything, you could stay on past. So I'll quick share what I'm talking about. Where are we?
It would be.
Right here, this one.
Why would you share that?
And it's not this that I'm sharing. I just wanted to go into classroom. Okay. And these are the two documents. This is the reading part. So this is what I would have you make a copy of. So these are like big ideas from today. Who are the Titans? Who are the Olympians? Like just basics. And then each of these stories, it starts with Prometheus. It starts on page 95 is where you'll read his story in the book. And then just jot down some notes that will help you to remember that story, right? Or, you know, when you're going to take your final in this class, you can use any notes that you've made for yourself, okay? So that's what's listed on that sheet. I would make a copy of this Google form. If you don't know how to do that, I'll show you really quick. You just go File, and then make a copy. And then, you know, you go ahead and use this form for your note taking. The second thing that you're going to work on, and I don't think that's there. Let's see if it's in my scanning. I bet you it's in my downloads, but this is also in there. For some reason it didn't come up though, but this also should be attached. Let me just quick show you. I steal. Oh, that wouldn't be it.
No, that's Hamlet.
Yeah, that's a Hamlet scanner.
Mhm.
Here you go. This is also attached. So if I were Cheyenne, I would put my name here, Cheyenne, and then these are the criteria that I'm looking for on each slide. In addition to just learning more about your god, goddess, you will also meet those tech standards. Makes sense? And then this will just show you to how you're scored. Okay? So I'll stop sharing. Hopefully you've learned some features and I've re-emphasized what was important in the text. You can stick around if you have something that you want to show me, maybe your schoolwork that you have completed. I'm going to try and keep gradebook as updated as possible. So if you have anything, please stick around. Is there anything in the chat that is crucial? Nope. Awkward silence. Yeah. Okay. So it's great to see your faces. I miss you all. And I'm glad that we are able to meet today. Hopefully you will reach out and Van, take a picture, send me an email. Those are all great ways of communicating. So with that, I'll stick around for a little bit, but to get out of this meeting, you just simply hit end meeting on your computer. But I am done and I'll see you again on the 20th. So thank you.
Yay, I'm out of here. What?
I shared my presentation on Nix with you
Okay.
in Google Drive or email. And then my daily journals.
Yep.
I'm also doing daily journals for English. So they're just
Okay.
kind of like random prompts and writing things. I don't know if they are all from the 52 daily. I kept getting the two classes mixed up.
Sure. That's fine.
There's something for each day.
Okay. Awesome. Do you have those with you? Do you want to show them right now?
Them online.
Oh, okay.
Share it with you.
Sure.
The daily thing.
Yep.
And I can
Awesome.
just keep track of it a little bit easier.
Yeah. Well, and I think that that's a good go-to. You know, if you're going to Google Classroom every day, then you kind of get in the habit of, you know, doing your work that way. So good seeing you, Maddie. Stay safe. Yeah. Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
I will. I'm already outside. That's a good bonus.
Yeah, it's beautiful outside.
It is. It's not raining or anything yet. So,
right?
Yep. All right. We'll check in with you on the 20th. If
All
not
right,
before that, and I'll look at my email. Thanks, Maddie.
Awesome. Bye.
Bye.